Anyway, welcome to CDS, Federation of Democratic Simulators. I'm Tor Karlsvalt, the Chancellor, and to my left, there's Moon Adamant, our Public Information Officer, and Rosie Gray, who is a member of our Representative Assembly. Greetings, welcome to Colonia Nova, the second region of the Confederation of Democratic Simulators. I am your guide, Tor, currently the Chancellor of the CDS, basically the chief cook and bottle washer. I will trigger the tour explanations in local chat, so stay within chat range. I do intend to walk through the sims in order that you get a feel for what we have created. If needed, the box next to me has a note card with the landmarks of the stops on the tour. You want this if you need to catch up during the tour or can't walk the tour. However, most segments will end with the slur of the next stop. The note card also includes a link to the Google Doc where you can find the tour notes. There's more information in there, some extra links. Welcome to the wait, how did that get in there? It was a resident of the Colonia Nova that necessitated a new name for our group. Prior to adding Colonia Nova, we were called Neufreistadt, or the city of Neufreistadt, our first private region. From the beginning of Locus Amonis, there was established at mainland some, so I guess some of these messing things, somehow it's messing up. The experiment, anyway, Locus Amonis was founded according, well, hold on. I don't know how that got in there. Hang on, guys. It's also a bad start. But hey.
Oh, not a problem at all. There's lots of tech glitches in Second Life. We're used to it, and this is great.
I'm wondering if somebody else is hitting that the tour marker in Locus Amonis is what that might be happening. and maybe it's traveling somehow all the way over here. But anyway, let me just find the document that's online. I'll just read that. Okay. If needed, the box next to me has landmarks of the stops on the tour. You might want this if you need to catch up during the tour or can't walk the tour. However, most segments will end with the slur of the next stop. It was a resident of Colonia Nova that necessitated the new name for our group. Prior to adding Colonia Nova, we were called Neufreistadt, or City of Neufreistadt, our first private region. In September 2004, the CDS was established on the mainland as Neu-Altenburg Project, an experiment where the residents would own the sim and govern it democratically. After the move to the private island, Colonia Nova was the first expansion on September 27, 2006. Originally, it had a Roman theme and was a rendering of Colonia Claudia Ara Agrippinensium, or Colonia Agrippina, a Roman city on the Rhine that today is known as Cologne. At that time, Colonia Nova actually predated Roma as the first Roman residential sim in Second Life. Today, the theme of the sim is early 20th century Italy. However, there are vestiges of the old theme in the form of temples and a domus, a traditional Roman home. Also, the bonfires above the old city walls hearken to the bonfire lit in Roman times to guide boats on the river. This is the second theater at this location. The current theater was built by Candace Theus in 2013. The theater has been used for live performances, presentations, and debates. There are plans to rebuild the theater. It is an example of how our sims evolve and how we get involvement of our residents in development plans. And any questions about that? Anyone? Okay, well, we're going to move across the sim, and if you follow me, we'll go to Stella Marina. And gotta climb all these stairs, guys. I guess the region is at night at the moment. You might want to turn your personal settings on to daylight. Everyone hates technology hates dead space, so I guess I'll keep rambling. This is, as you can see, we have these little houses here. They're actually quite popular, and it's kind of gives you a feel of living in a small village. And we have goats here to. All right. Here. And you can get boat rides and everything else. I'll call attention to the kiosks we have around. If you look at them, you can join the group. There's usually a subscribo terminal next to it. Also, in there you can find a link to our Discord page. Anyway, let's cross the footbridge over the river. Don't fall into the river. Crocs are known to wander these waters. We will stop at the Temple of Mercury just across the river. This is the drawbridge, guys. A new creation by... Before that, I had to... So here we go. Let me set this off here. The Temple of Mercury is a memorial to our brief union with Al-Andalus. Some of you might remember Al-Andalus. It was a beautiful sin. It didn't survive LL taking down the nonprofit, what do you call it, the deduction. From July 2009 to July 2010, the CDS merged with Al-Andalus. The 6 regions of Al-Andalus were joined to the CDS landmass at Colonia Nova. At the time, the merger created an 11-region landmass. Al-Andalus was a democratic sim and a rendition of Granada. The central theme was La Convivencia, a period of history of Iberia and an idea of religious tolerance between Jews, Christians, and Muslims. Alas, the union between the CDS and Al-Andalus never finalized. This temple was erected as memorial to the merger attempt. One little note on that. Part of the problem at the time was putting the CDS actually in a corporation, something that we kind of are currently kind of having on the back burner. The current situation is sort of a handshake agreement, and we have a very trusted state owner that holds the SIMs for the citizens of our community. Obviously, that is a kind of a short-term thing that was never supposed to probably last as long as it has. But eventually we're going to have to kind of come to some sort of resolution for that issue. Anyway, we'll turn our focus across the road to the Cedar Island Clubhouse. I think many of you will actually be very interested in Cedar Island. And here we have the Cedar Island Clubhouse. Across from the temple, we have the Cedar Island Clubhouse. Some of you might remember Cedar Island. It was established to provide group members with a place for educational projects, music, and discussions. Okay. And Cedar Island was a democratically run multiple sim island chain, active from 2007 to 2012. Part of the goal of the original project was to experiment with giving creative people much higher prim limits than usual. Many of us know or remember chasing prims around. Inspired by the Danish high school movement, Cedar Community, and originally Cedar Island, was founded as a group of people involved in lifelong learning through projects, seminars, and conversation. The goal was to make that kind of learning available to everyone. Second Life has the potential to break that kind of education away from physical college campus to make it accessible no matter where they live or how they can afford or how much they can afford to spend on tuition. Laudable goal, I think. One requirement for active membership was, each quarter, to organize a discussion, presentation, or other event on a personal or group learning topic and make it open to all Cedar members. Okay. Cedar Community still holds weekly meetings, teas, every Monday at 3 p.m. SLT in Cedar Lodge in Colonia Nova. Topics of discussion vary widely, and at this point, only a handful of people attend. This is the clubhouse, and I'm sure all of us would love to see you occasionally drop in to have a conversation with John Seattle, who is the leader, and a very interesting fellow. Some Cedar member projects include the original Music Island, a not-for-profit classical music venue that is still active, several public art projects, renovation of a pier in Western England, game design, curriculum design for social science, mainly geography, ethics, and religious education, 2 online conferences on the future of education, building accurate reproductions of musical instruments in SL, and Cedar itself was a Cedar project. Very beautiful sim at the time, I remember. It was designed like the Pacific Northwest. Very, very picturesque, very nice. Historically, many Cedar members were educators, but many were not. Some members joined to work on their own research, writing, and artistic skills. And of course, the links are showing up here for more information. It really was a great project, and John Seattle has hopes in retirement to reboot it. So look forward to seeing that. Maybe many of you would want to participate in that. Okay, up the road we have the Silver Dragon Club and Gallery. So, the Silver Dragon Club is a recent addition to Colonia Nova. The club started in 2004 and is currently owned by Tori Landau and Roxy Roxley. The Silver Dragon hosts regular shows of various musical genres, rock, pop, classical, and blues. The gallery is located in the sky. Currently, the gallery hosts an exhibit of Lee Miller's photography. Lee Miller was a Vogue model, World War II correspondent, and surrealist photographer. Very cool pictures up there, photos up there. I really recommend it. And the events here are always fun. Okay, let's move down to the bridge and Democracy Wall. I think you guys will love Democracy Wall. As you can see, there's the ducks want to take over the tour, but it's okay. We're going to make a right turn here. By John Seattle, back in the early days. One of the remaining structures. Okay, everyone, here's Democracy Wall. The Democracy Wall is our answer to political graffiti. The Democracy Wall allows CDS group members to post protest signs of things that might provoke a conversation. One merely posts over the older sign. It's always interesting how the signs change from month to month. As you can see, there is a rather dominant theme lately. The wall is a popular backdrop to group photos for our traditional holidays, International Women's Day and May Day. Beyond the city wall, you see the river. We have the swing event with DJ McMahon every Tuesday at 6 p.m. He dazzles us with great swing and jazz while providing detailed information about the artists and band leaders. It's a very good event. If you're at all interested in jazz or swing, you should enjoy it. We'll cross the bridge now and stop at the Domus Aria, or Ariana. Okay. Okay, here we just wait a second here for everyone to gather around. And we have the Domus Ariana. This is the last Roman domus in Colonia Nova. Most of the builds in Colonia Nova and Locus Amonis were originally of this type. As you can see, it's a bit dated as far as construction techniques go, but we love it. Aria Peralt makes the Domus available for touring and provides a detailed guide. For this tour, please use your camera to tour the Domus. It's a bit crowded in there for a group. And Salvete in Domo Ariana, I guess. My Latin is non-existent, so you have to bear with me here. It says, anyway, welcome to Domus Ariana. I understand it is very common to have a beware of dog sign in front of many of Roman houses. And I guess that's the reason for the floor here in the front. This house was inspired by urban houses in Herculaneum, a Roman town that was buried during the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD. And it's pretty garish inside. I guess that was the style of ancient Rome. Anyway, let's take a quick tour. Aria, I'm not sure of her background really, but she's not around very much anymore. But she was her and her husband were super interested in Roman archaeology and traditions. When you enter, you'll find yourself in the atrium, the central hall of the house. Look up. You'll notice the open roof called the compluvium, and the shallow basin below, the impluvium, which is used to collect rainwater. Yeah. Next is the tablinum, where the master of the house would receive guests and conduct business. And you're welcome to go inside if you like. Don't get lost, though. Yeah. Dedicated to the goddess Hecate. Small crossroads and protection was often worshipped in private rituals. All the paintings and floor mosaics, except those in the Hecate shrine, are based on real artwork found in Pompeii and Herculaneum. The furniture is crafted by various artisans within Second Life, inspired by archaeological discoveries. The domus was created to give you a sense of what life might have looked like in a Roman home shortly before the eruption, blending historical research with virtual imagination. I thought I'd include this on the tour for two reasons, by the way. One, I mean, it's an older house. Sometimes you might even chuckle a little bit at the construction. But it is an example of evolution in our Sims and also personal projects that people do in our Sims. And it's also, you can see the idea here is similar to what you guys are all about in, education in the virtual world. So this is sort of a tangible 3D view of something that you could maybe not experience just in a book. And even in person, you'd see the ruin. So anyway, let's move on to the Praetorium across the road. And we have this very beautiful made to enter, kind of a ceremonial entrance. And we have the mouth of truth over there. Tradition has, if you put your hand in its mouth and tell a lie, it'll bite your hand off. So I guess everybody that's tried has been telling the truth. Aren't you guys glad voice is working? You get my crazy jokes. Welcome to the Praetorium. Here is the seat of government for the Confederation of Democratic Simulators. Our representative assembly and scientific council meet in these chambers. It has served as a seat of government since 2006, when Colonia Nova res as our second region. The representative assembly is a legislative branch and enacts bylaws, oversees a chancellor, and approves financial matters. As a chancellor, I just love them. The scientific council consists of professors led by a dean. They meet in the lower chamber. The scientific council functions as a court, reviews bylaws, and manages our elections. The build you see here is the second Praetorium at this location. It was built by Rosie Gray in 2014 and has been updated since. I know she's been doing a lot of PBR texturing going on here. The entry colonnade occasionally serves as an event venue. Also, at river level, a room is dedicated as a museum of CDS history. And around the room here, there's a few things that are of interest. The one are these awards here on the back wall. that we have an award called the Order of Anzir being the region where our group started in the Snowlands, and it's awarded for consider community excellence in community service, and it's very good. And the little doll over there to the left of Moon is an Ulrika doll. Ulrika Zugzwang, or Vang. She was our original founder, one of them anyway, and a notorious AV in Second Life, and eventually she left in a quite dramatic manner, and deleted half of Neufreistadt when she left. We refer to that as the Quake. And anyway, that's what we keep, that little effigy of Ulrika there as a reminder to tyrants, I guess. And you see here the seats where the representative assembly seats sit and the community sits around them. Pretty nice, I think. But let's move on to the Therme. We're going to walk through the center of town to get there. So enjoy the scenery. And we're going to go down here. The SC chamber, by the way, is to my right as we're leaving here. And it's, of course, much smaller than... By the way, you know the SC members, perhaps. The Dean, Delia Lake is a member. So, they have all had some involvement with the VWEC. One other thing too, while I'm in this interim here, you can hear me. All of them have been built by our members. A lot of expertise goes into this. It's really quite amazing, I think. Learning how to do things. I don't think most of us had much experience in building and Blender and whatnot, but the people are learning these things in order to make this whole place possible. Here we have the Therme, or our rendition of a Roman bath. And yes, I could just read it off the document here, which I should put on my other screen. This is the second Therme at this location. It was built by Mitsu Vavum and Gaius Mistwalker and completed in June 2016. Yeah. The Therme is often a place of relaxation or a conversation setting. The main pool, sometimes covered in this glass, with a glass floor, is used as a party venue. Yeah, they did really well here. It's I'm not exactly sure who's responsible for what entirely. I think Gaius was our Roman scholar, and he more or less did the plans. And I think much of the building, some of the building. Mitsu, I think, did the texturing mostly, and maybe the final construction or placement. But it is quite an achievement. Okay, it has been a tradition for the dean to announce election results here in the main pool. The CDS strives to have clean politicians. Anyway, unfortunately, people don't really want to stand for election lately, and so we get enough people to run the government, and then nobody challenges those. So it moves around. The names change as people come and go or decide to step back a little bit or whatever. But we haven't had an announcement in the pool, which was actually fun. We gather here in the main pool, and in a kind of a very crazy place to make an official announcement. So I guess we keep a little tongue-in-cheek in all of this, which is a healthy thing, I think. But anyway, follow me, and we'll go through here out to the garden and back to the Decumanus, or major east-west street. And you can see the garden. There's a stairway up here leading to the roof. I mean, to a walkway on the wall, the old city wall. And we go through this tunnel. By Alexander, Arya's husband. But anyway, hasn't been used very long. All right, here we go. This has been a real gem, this exhibition here. Let me start the thing. House Anguissola celebrates the remarkable life of and art of Italian late Renaissance painter Sofonisba Anguissola, circa 1532 to circa 1625. One of the first female artists to achieve international success during her lifetime. The building, designed by Moon Adamant, was built by Rosie Gray and chosen as a venue for this exhibition by the curator Cami Rembrandt because it holds similar similarities with the facade of the Ara real-life house where Sofisba Anguissola was born in Cremona, Italy. The exhibition is the subject of a lengthy article by Nera Pei in her blog Living in a Modern World, on which she calls it, quote, a magnificent endeavor rich in art and history. The art and life of Sofonisba Anguissola should be visited by anyone with an interest in art and its history. And then there's a link here to the article. Thank you. By the way, I wrote much of this myself, and of course when people had their own projects, I asked them to contribute the blurbs. So it worked out pretty well. I don't know what's wrong with that first one. I think. Anyway, apparently it's going to close on June 30th, so I really urge you, if you haven't been here already, to go view it, come back and view this exhibit. It's really good. It's very well done. Cami did a superlative job on it. Okay, let's move on down here to the center of town. Errant of chancellors. You know, I'm just one vote away from losing my head, you know. So. Okay. The center of Colonia Nova is referred to as the Centro Storico. It's enclosed by ancient Roman walls that have partially fallen into ruin. Often the crumbling wall remnants are incorporated into the modern buildings. Colonia Nova is very much a Roman city, just one that has evolved into modern times. Hence the main north-south street is the Cardo, while the east-west street is still called the Decumanus. With 2 publishing houses, a bookshop, 2 galleries, The Center for Colonia Nova has become developed into a center for the arts, including House Anguissola, featuring the paintings of Sofonispa, Feel and Focus, the photos of and artwork of Janusz Vanisha, alongside Indigo Sky Press and Sale di Onice, it's Italian. Publishing house Rose Colored Glass Books of Distinction is promoting our real-life books. Get over here, that's my right. Below Centro Historico, find the catacombs. You can access the catacombs under the long bridge and eventually exit into the Temple of Diana. However, zombies are existing in the shadows there, so venture at your peril. We don't have enough insurance to allow this guided tour to take us through the catacombs. We will move through the west gate to Locus Amonis, a nice place. Locus Amonis was our 5th expansion in 2009. And so let's go out this way. Are crumbling. Locus Amonis is supposed to be largely rural and residential, by the way. It includes the quay area and what we would call at the time a fishing village, and shops and things of that nature. So we're going to just walk through the center here, and we're going to make a turn, a left turn, right about here. So in turn here, we're going to move toward the inner harbor. Now, obviously you can see that some people have houses that are probably pretty dated. You know, we're not like most places. We get people's approval if we want to update something, usually if it's occupied. Okay, I'm going to hand this off here to Moon, who is very involved here with this particular item here. I'll just set the text off, and Moon can take over.
Hello all, can you listen? So, I hope so. Thanks Ellie. So welcome to the Umbilicus. So this is the heart of Locus manuscript. And I'm presenting this segment of the turn. From the beginning of Locus Manus, there has been a known follows, or Umbilicus, here. The word means the navel of the world. This is the second temple to be built here, and like its predecessor, it is a time capsule containing artifacts. Locus Manus was founded according to rituals used in the founding of a real Roman city. Umbilicus is the Latin word for navel, implying it center from where everything originates, and our umbilicus is exactly located. There are a number of objects inside the umbilicus. The most important is the lapis niger, or black stone, inspired by the still extant lapis niger of Rome, which is a block of tuff with an extremely ancient inscription in Old Latin, presumed to be a dedication and ritual law. So, Simo Kurka, no longer in Second Life, who was an old citizen of the CDS and an Italian architect, planned the first iteration of Locus Manus in 2008. And he suggested that our lapis niger could keep the secret name of Locus Manus, another founding ritual of the Roman cities. And I am the namekeeper for Locus. Yes, hosted a dedication ceremony in which we placed the Mundus pole, which you can see if you look inside. And the Mundus pole is another object that marks the centrality of the place, symbolizing the linking between sky and earth, and the citizens of the CDS, they auspicious gifts to the city. In 2015, the region was rededicated as the old layout changed significantly to the current early 20th century Mediterranean theme. Old gifts were moved to and new gifts were laid, celebrating art and music among others, well in keeping with the character of the region. Casamenas is the sixth center of CDS with many art galleries and music events. Today, the Inner Harbor is an attractive residential and commercial area of Locos Amenas. It is frequently a venue for art gallery parties hosted by the Black Tulip. Um, Pictures of dramatic no installation ceremony can be seen this. So now let's walk around to the Locos Amenas Square.
Okay, thank you very much, Moon.
Birds, this, are looking on the background. Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much, Moon. So let's move on to the harbor or the quay. A bit of a walk here. You can see some of the inner harbor areas. Check here that I have is the Ukraine house. So, and incidentally, everyone at several locations here in near AM and up in Neufreistadt, we have horse reserves, Tego horse reserves. So if you don't have a horse but would like to ride a horse throughout the sim, you can usually find one of these reserves everywhere, at different locations. I forgot to mention, maybe you noticed it, we're working on a cable car which will run just from the Praetorian up into Neufreistadt. So look forward to that in the next, sometime this side of Christmas. I'm going to get hit in the head here by Rosie probably, but anyway. So let me start this off. The quay has long been the center for Locos Amonis, a nice place. Most recently, we hosted a party here for our first sale, a spring tradition for venues, frequent venues for shows and parties. The harbor is our gateway to the Okumeni Sea and our connection to our good neighbors, Etopia and Amias, two separate estates that I recommend touring. Etopia focuses on sustainability, while Amias recreates a rural town in Portugal. The CDS is constantly evolving, but as you can see, it is all planned by citizens, many of whom have honed their building skills in this cooperative endeavor. Well, this concludes our tour. I hope you found it informative, and you can find more information about CDS at our website, cdsdemocracy.org, or at any of the kiosks around the state. And there's one here. And you can join our group on the kiosk, follow us via Subscribe terminal, or the Discord. And that's it for the tour. Of course, you're all welcome to meander around or ask questions, and now or even later, and just chat me up anytime you want.
And thank you so much, both Tor and Moon. This was a very informative, well-paced tour, and we're just impressed by a great community, CDS. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. And I wish I could say more.